Judy, I'm going to play Prelude in D using only the notes and the chords that are in the key of D major, okay? Just using D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, and C sharp. And as a result, all the chords are going to be what they naturally are in the key of D. D, E minor, F sharp minor, G, A, B minor, and C sharp diminished, okay? This is what it'll sound like. Okay, that sounds pretty white bread, like there is nothing special going on about that. It's not that it's offensive, it's just that there's nothing unexpected. You could stop paying attention and come back and not miss anything, is really the point. What Carcassi has done, though, is made it so there's always a feeling of what's coming next. And the way he's done that is created a sense of expectation and then resolve. Okay, and the idea of expectation comes from the relationship between the 5 chord and the 1 chord. And we're just speaking generally about all music right now. If you're in any key, the 5 chord automatically wants to send you back home to 1. It just does. It doesn't have to. 5 doesn't have to go to 1, but when it does, it's a really strong relationship. In this case, it's the key of D. So when you play that 5 chord and arrive back home to D, it feels like the end of a song. It just naturally feels really, really good. The idea is that 5 leads back to D, really because it uses something that the melody uses, which is a leading tone, right? That C sharp is in an A chord. And it moves up to D in the D chord. So that's the biggest reason, is because it has the leading tone in the 5 chord, because of just what makes the chord, and then the root chord ends up having the actual root of the whole entire key too. So that's the main thing. Because of that 5-1 relationship, another way to make it stronger is to add a 7th to that 5 chord. Okay. Now this 5 chord is sometimes called a dominant chord. Okay, and the root chord oftentimes is called tonic. So sometimes you call it a dominant 7 chord, meaning the 5 chord has a 7 in it. Okay, it makes it so that you don't have to say it's this 5 chord with a 7th in it. It just makes it, that's what they oftentimes they'll say dominant 7th to avoid numbers being next to each other. But the 5-1 relationship is made stronger by adding that 7th to the 5 chord. In this case, an A chord, which goes to D, ends up becoming A7 to D. And the reason that is, if it doesn't happen as nicely in this version of it. Actually, I can do it this way: an A with a G in it, and then a D. Okay, and you can hear it a little better there because I'm putting the G here and then resolving it to D. So the two things that are happening are still the same ideas, that the leading tone C sharp is going to D, but also the G of the A7 chord is going down to F sharp. So you have this sound and happening at the same time. And really, two things that make it awesome. There's opposite directions, meaning the C sharp's going up to D and the G is going down to F sharp. So they're going like this, and they're doing it in half steps, 1 fret apart. So it makes it even stronger. Sorry. Okay? So that's just at the root of this whole thing. The idea is that this song exploits the 5-1 relationship, the 5 chord to the 1 chord. And what it does is it makes you feel like it treats some chords that are in the key of D as being a root chord by putting the 5 of that chord in front of it. Okay, the best way to explain it is to use our circle of fifths and our piece of music here. On the last line here, we have D, A, and D. We have a D arpeggio, followed by an A arpeggio, followed by D. Okay, nothing offensive, it's just going D, A, D. We don't necessarily need to have an A7 right there because we're going from D to A to D, so he didn't need that seventh and that A chord to make it strong because it makes sense. D, A, D. It's not going anywhere crazy. Okay? But if you look before it, so this is the measure before that, up this A7 here. If we go from A, then turn it into an A7, and it leads really nicely back to a D. It just sounds really good. We go from an A, make it an A7 because this is our dominant chord, our 5 chord, and we know that we could have gone A to D here, but making it A7 makes it even stronger, turning into the D chord, which is back home. Okay? Before that, the reason that's important is because the chord before the A is an E7. As soon as we see that 7, we know that's being treated like a dominant chord. That's being treated as the 5 of something. In this case, it's the 5 of A. If you look on your circle of fifths, here's your D chord. A is the 5 of D. E is the 5 of A. Okay? So here we have an E7 chord, which is steering us in the direction of A. And what happens is your ear hears E7, and it says, please do something with me, land me back home, boom, A, right? If we had just held A through here, it would have been okay. But by then making this A7, because remember, this feels like home when we land here on A. It feels like home because of what the E7 does. E7 says, please send me home. Ah, we're back home to A. As soon as we make it A7, it's saying, oh, we're going to go back home to D. That's what's happening here. Okay? A is the 5 of D. E is the 5 of A. Okay? That happens there. It also happens up top. Because if we look at our circle of fifths here, we said A is the 5 of D. That's the root of the whole song. A is the 5 of D. E is the 5 of A. B is the 5 of E. And that's why at the top of the song, we have this B leading to E. Okay? B is the 5 of E. Now, that leads us to the next question. Why is it a B7 chord in the beginning and not a B minor chord? It's a choice. But it's also because a major 5 chord sounds even more strong or stronger, leading back home to that 1 in that case. In this case, it's the B is the 5 of 1. So if you make it a B minor 7 chord, it would sound like this, and then lead into E minor. What am I doing? Okay, so the arpeggio would actually sound like this. That B minor 7 would have sounded like this. And then to the E minor 7. Sorry. Okay, it's okay, but by making it a B7, making it a major chord, sounds even stronger. Okay? It's also because it gives us the ability to hear this chromatic, meaning 1 fret at a time, ascending line here. We have a D in the beginning of the song. It moves up to a D sharp by making that a B7 chord, making it a B major chord. It's a D sharp, which automatically sounds weird. So it sort of creates a sense of alarm and distrust in what's happening, but then it resolves when it moves up 1 more fret up to E. So you end up with this. Okay, and you can hear it when I'm playing. Sorry, that was weird. Right? You can hear that in there. Okay, between each of those chords. And so the last real thing here is that why is it a major chord? Because that's even stronger. Not only are you making it a 5 chord, you're making the B, which is the 5 of E, but you're making it a B major chord, which makes it even stronger. Okay? That's really the only thing really that makes it a big deal. If you look at these accidentals in the song, they occur where we've made what should be a minor chord into a major chord. Happens on... So this should be a B minor chord according to what we did in the bottom here, right? It should go D, B minor, E minor. Because there's a D, there's an E minor, but there's no B major, it's B minor. in order to make that change, we had to turn the D into a D sharp. Okay, happened again down here. This should be an E minor chord, not an E major chord. In order to make it major, they raised it up a G sharp. That's not important. When you're reading this, you should just be playing it, as it said. But I want you to notice those changes because they sound dramatic. Okay? Yeah, have fun with it. Just put these chords together a little bit this week. You don't have to rush it. Just kind of let your eyes, follow the music a little bit and see if that helps you out. All right, have a good one.